Hello, greetings. Right, Kangafango, hello. Hello, favorite roof tiler and general handyman paradise. I have never handied a roof or tiled in anything really in real life. So, I think you might be confusing me with someone else. Hello, favorite postbox repairer. Oh yes, well, postboxes I repair constantly in real life. Stream title. Oh, there we go. Trainz MAR, not many building streams left on this route. Message. Chat is wok. No, you mean chat is whack. Clonk. Right. Actually, that does not matter. Okay, so last time on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. No, last time we put a whole lot of buildings here that are not currently here. They will be here again shortly, but they have to pop in first. There we go, that looks much better. If it looked worse, I wouldn't have placed them there. Anyway, how are you two doing in chat, or out of chat even? Right, so today, filling in buildings there, putting roads along there, no, not the island, no, not the city either, and then putting buildings and stuff along this bit, and then, well, if there's still time, we'll detail some of the areas around here, like putting in roads back there, and putting in textures, and detailing this area there, and putting stuff on the platforms and that sort of stuff. Yeah, right, just tired. I see. Fairly well, thank you. Fairly well or fare thee well? Fare thee well, thank you. Bye-bye. Actually, no, I already said that. And then just goes. Let's have a look at this Chicago 2 2D building. I think that fits quite nicely here. Although maybe I need to make this a little bit broader. I could quite easily just attach two of them together. You? Yeah, quite good. Today, specifically. Yeah, so if I just move this in... There we go, now it kind of looks like just one big building. Fairly well, locomotive. Yeah, that looks good. What does it look like coming the other way? Does it obscure any views? See, it's always about the line of sight in all of this. I mean, if the buildings were loaded in... Actually, no, I quite like that. I think. Or, hold on. No, it's a bit too tall. It is a bit too tall. I want the building on the left to appear quite tall compared to everything else on that side, which means I need something lower down here. However, this building might be good behind here, just to fill in some of that empty space. So, let's have a look. This one. Maybe again. Auckland Warehouse. Yeah, that seems quite fitting height-wise. Yeah, that makes the left one feel much taller. Because I don't want the tall buildings over here to already be overshadowed by the skyscrapers that are back there. So that's quite good. Now, as for back alley stuff, how about if I move this one a little bit closer? Is that going to be too tall already? No, not really. Actually, that's quite good there, like that. And so then if you do look between the gaps, you can see that there is a building there, although I'll have to place something in there. Maybe I'll extend this one that way. Like that. Yeah, that works quite well from this point of view as well. And then we'll just need something over here to block this line of sight. Let's see. Let's have a look at some of the other Chicago buildings. Well, those are really small. Let's try one of these ones. Oh, well, we've already got that right there. Maybe not the best option then. Maybe one of those ones. I can move it down into the ground a bit, perhaps. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then I just need one on the other side of that road here. And here I can just use this one rotated 90 degrees. Or rather 270 degrees-ish. Like that. That should quite easily block that view. And I think that's all the views blocked coming along here. Now, do I actually need to extend that road at all? I don't think so. I think that's fine. How about adding a pedestrian underpass where the park begins? What do you mean? Oh, do you mean like over on this side? Somewhere? Or what do you mean? Steps going down and going up other side of the park. Oh, do you mean over on this side? Over here? Well, this isn't such a high traffic road. I suppose I could have a zebra crossing. Passing underneath the tracks. Oh, under the tracks you mean? Perhaps. Because I've already got an underpass asset that I used at by the other station. Not this one, because I haven't detailed this one yet. But the other station. Come on. Oh, it feels like this is getting laggier and laggier with every stream. Even though I haven't built anything on this side. Actually, it wasn't... Oh, maybe it wasn't here. I thought I had underpasses. Pedestrian... Was it not here? I thought I'd placed them here. Maybe I have not. Did I... Maybe I forgot that and never remembered? I thought I had. Or is it called a subway? Hmm. Interesting. Oh no, look, I did place them there. The assets just hadn't loaded in. And yes, it was this asset. So I thought I knew I placed them in. Phew. Okay, so yeah, this could work. Like that. And then we've got one over here. I think that is quite a good idea. Although I might need to change the positioning slightly of this, because I don't know what I'll put in here yet, and if it's parking, then that might be in the way. Maybe like there. Or... Tell you what, I'll just leave it here for now, and then might put it somewhere else later. Anyway, buildings, roads, yes. So, okay. I think the first thing to do is put this 4-lane road in completely, make that go down, connect to that. And then I'll connect the 2-lane road to this. Okay, let's try something like this. Seems reasonable-ish. And then we'll have an intersection here for that road going off that way. Maybe 2 next to each other for enter and exit. Maybe a smidge small for big city. Well, I don't know, maybe. And yes, I am trying to get as much done as possible this stream. So if I'm not that distracted, that's why. Is that a challenge? Yay! That's funny. Okay, how does that look? looks pretty good. But that's too much. Because I need to have the sidewalk on there as well. I'll probably have this over by the stripe, so that I've got the correct alignment for the spline that continues on from beyond this point. And then I'll likely have just a short little one kind of going diagonally into this to get the width of the bridge. Of course, I'll have to change the height slightly, otherwise we'll get loads of sea fighting, and that's not nice. Okay, that needs to go over a little bit more. And I might need another spline point in the middle here just to space this out a little bit better. Yeah, yeah. That is pretty much critical. Like that. And then I need to redo the height to these splines so that it works properly. Oh, fire hydrant spline? Is that a thing? Or do you mean I should make one? Oh, it is. I don't know. I might place some select fire hydrants some fire hydrants in very select spaces, but not just in general, because then I'd have to place them on a far too large of an area, and that would take much too long, and it would also lag more. Load in, there we go. But only the 2DX ones, I think. They're not really laggy at all. Well, yes, but those ones I wouldn't have close by. And if I have them far enough away that you wouldn't really see them, then, well, what's the point in investing the time to build this? Okay, that looks alright. I might add another retaining wall to that. Let's paint it in first, and then we'll see where I want the other road to connect. Because I have a feeling it might be up here, actually. Yes, you'd have to go uphill, but it would bring it very close to crossing over to the tracks, and this is the first time you'll be able to cross over since there. Because if you're here, or back there, you have to either go all the way around the park, or all the way down around here. And so having that come in as close to the bridge as possible would really be advantageous. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to put that in yet. Maybe when the route is actually finished. And I think that some areas could use a bit more detail, then maybe I'll put some fire hydrants in or something like that. I don't know. But that's not something that I want to do now. Okay, so I could just merge it in here. If I made all of these splines fixed height, then I could just bury them in the train and have it actually merge in this point. That might be the best option, thinking about it. But let's not think too much about it, otherwise we might discover that it's actually a worst option, and that would not be good. Because then we won't build it. What do you mean? Why? See, just be a bit like that. And I know that you do have intersections like this, right by bridges. Like, for example, when you've got a highway intersection, you've got a bridge and then an entrance and exit right there. Well, I wouldn't build it either way myself, but it sure sounds good. Oh, I see. I thought that was a critical Then I'll need to put another couple of spline points in here. Although that's... okay. Then, well, I guess I'll have to make these ones fixed height so that they'll retain the height when I add the spline points in. That one was critical, I think. Where's that? The second one? That road next to the park, shouldn't that be... maybe have 4 lanes. I was considering it, but this way there's more variety. Seems a bit narrow, such a big city after all. True, true. But I do want there to be a bit more variety. And the road going along the right-hand side is already 4 lanes, so I wanted the one on the left-hand side to be 2 lanes. Because it's not all... When trying to make something realistic, it's not necessarily about actually making it as realistic as you can. It's about making it feel as realistic as you can. And part of that is making sure there's variety, even if in real life maybe you wouldn't have that much variety there. You get that, of course. Good. I'll need to fix that a bit. And I do think that this intersection up here definitely needs traffic lights. But I think it'd seem more realistic to have it be 4 lanes. It just seems a bit odd in this case. Not sure if it's good. Kind or not. I mean... then you'd have to have 4 lanes going along here as well, and 4 lanes going along all the way along the park as well. And then you'd have the 4-lane road coming into this kind of industrial dirt area for the station's maintenance stuff and all that sort of thing. With, I don't know, it just doesn't, it feels boring to me. It just feels boring, especially since we've got the 4 lanes over on the right. You got me. Do you? Do you? Okay, so this needs to be changed slightly. Sort of like that. And I can remove the fixed height of those splines. And then I'll add in a little bit of a spline on top of that one, just so that I can make the curve. That, on the other hand, does not look how I wanted it to. What's going on there? Oh, I see. Yeah, I just need to smoothen that out a bit. Hold on. Come on. Okay, that looks better, although I do need another spline point in here, I think. Yeah. And also one more in there. And then this I can drag on to there. And yeah, this is getting a bit steep going downhill, but that's fine. Don't worry about that. If I were you, I'd worry more about that giant dinosaur behind you. Well, spider, but same difference. Slightly UK. No, not yet. Wait, spider? Huh? Yeah. Well, camel spider. I know it's not really a spider, it's got another pair of legs, but again, same difference. Ah. Or should that have been read out as ah? Missed it, sorry. What's with the camel spider? Nah. I just said that it is a bit steep here, but if I were you, I'd worry more about the giant dinosaur behind you. And then I said, well, spider, but same difference. Okay. It's definitely one of the more interesting intersections that I've done. How does that look? Does that look vaguely angled right? Yes, except the right one is more spacious than the left one, so I've got to change that slightly so that they're about just as wide as each other. This one also needs to be a little bit wider. There we go. I think that merges in there quite nicely. And then if someone plays this route and they want to find out, they wonder, actually, how has he made this intersection? You can just go into the splines tab and go, ah, too many spline points, no, quick, get me out of here. Phew. Add zebra stripes as well as a stop sign. I think I'll add traffic lights And I think that'll be enough to control the pedestrians as well. Sitcom laughter. Oh, it's here, good. I was hoping it would show up. Traffic lights. Okay. Oh, right, I didn't put the... I need to put in the thick spines. Pedestrian control, TM. Oh yes, and the arrows as well. I completely forgot about the arrows. That's the thing I probably still need to put in on the spline on the roads on the left here as well. Because I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Okay, that's something I need to do. And I'll probably do that right after finishing this intersection, because otherwise I will forget again. Add road arrows. If only there was a command for that, I just did it and it worked perfectly. Like in City Skylines. Which, yes, I do still intend to stream that when the MVR is effectively finished. Reminder set for road arrows. Did you mean red arrows? Red arrows correction accepted. Reminder set for red arrows. No! Red arrows are really cool. Do you mean as in the planes, or do you mean as in... Ah, yes, probably the planes. I saw them in Eastbourne last year. Really impressive. I mean, impressive, yes, sure. Although, I myself am not really into that sort of thing. Don't really like it. But impressive, yes. I can't argue with that. Actually, hold on 1 second. Or how about that red arrow? Extremely scary job. It's on over Eastbourne. I liked it when they made a love heart in the sky. Oh, this red arrow. Yeah, that's another good one. Okay, now I need the arrows. Oh, right. Is that... Yeah. That one's number 2. That's the one that didn't kill anybody. Oh, I didn't remember that. Really? That was quite a good episode, I thought. Right, so we need a through arrow. Should be basically just there. And then we need a right through arrow. Should basically be just there. Then we need a left arrow. There. Wait. It murdered? Yeah, I don't remember them at all, unfortunately. Well, the first one was it kind of it's kind of it had this kind of auto control. Was it auto control? Some sort of navigation thing that was supposed to make like the instruments. It was supposed to navigate properly itself, I think, or something like that. But then the hood, I think it was the hood, manipulated it so that it got attracted to a magnet or some like a magnetic electromagnetic thing from like a radio tower, and it crashed into the tower and killed the pilot. I think it killed the pilot. The pilot might have escaped, thinking about it, but I think it killed the pilot. And then they had to rescue the people from the tower, and then the second one almost crashed as well, or something like that. It's been a while since I've seen them, but there was something like that. Oh, I didn't even put the solid lines on this one. I think I even remembered that, but then forgot about it. Oh yeah, the vehicle designs for Thunderbirds are great. Quite inspirational as well. If you're making your own IP that features futuristic vehicles, then looking at the Thunderbirds vehicles for inspiration is probably quite good. Yeah, I remember that I did that at this point almost 2 decades ago, I would think. Left and through. Quite retro-futuristic, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. Because you've still got things like computers running with tapes. And then simultaneously, you've got a lot of, well, you've also got a lot of analog controls and dials and readouts and that sort of thing. While you have these really advanced machines that can do all these different things, and you've got personal radio phones, you've got video telephones, like TV, but like voice chat basically. You've got phone booths that have voice chat capabilities, and there was one episode, I think maybe even the first episode, where of Thunderbirds at all, there was in London there was a telephone booth, but it was like a video telephone booth, and a message got sent, but he specifically called voice only, so without showing his face. And so that was quite impressive, that was kind of predicted. So in some ways, the technology does feel quite modern. In other ways, it does feel quite retro, futuristic as well. But Thunderbirds, by the way, takes place in the 2060s. So 100 years in the future from where it was made, because it was made in the 1960s. Yeah, and it takes place in the 2060s. Where you've got Fireflash, which is a supersonic passenger airplane that goes all over the world, but also between England and France, for example, or Tokyo and, well, England and Japan and things like that. And that was in the 60s. When was Concorde designed again? Yeah, and they came up with Fireflash before the actual Concorde existed. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, in the first episode of Thunderbirds, Fireflash is in the air, and then they find out that the landing gear has been sabotaged with a bomb that will go off if they try to lower the landing gear. And so Fireflash ends up, well, the danger actually is of it crashing because of an issue with the landing gear. So, produced 1965, 1979, Concorde. First flight to 1969. Yeah. I mean, there might have been... If that's the case, then there could have been talk about Concorde, like conceptual stuff already, and that might have influenced Fireflash, maybe, but it's basically the same time. Original release, Thunderbirds, yeah, 1965. Yeah, so it basically started at the exact same time, so it probably wasn't influenced then. And the theme music and all the rest. So good. Yeah. Okay. This one needs to go left only. This one needs to go right only. That looks pretty good. Okay, I don't need to do anything back there. Then, did I do this one yet? No, I need to do this one. And then we can continue from there. Would be interesting if there was a modern 2D animated show of it too. I know there's the Thunderbirds or Go show, but that's still, that one's 3D CGI. Yeah, might be good, if made well. I mean, if it is made well, then something that was previously conceptually good would be good. At least as far as I know. So, through left. To think that, I mean, like when I first started the MVR, I would have never thought of making like roads myself with splines like this. And even if I did, I would have never went to all the trouble of putting road markings on them. But then I started with the Mexford into Urban, and that was pretty much necessary because that took place on roads. So now here we are. Could be fun to design 2D character concept art for a main cast. True. Okay, that's good. I guess I could have another road branching off here, but I don't really think that that is too necessary. Well, maybe just here. Yeah, because that is quite a bit of a distance from that last block to here. Especially if we've got greenery along this bit. Kind of have to have a road here, pretty much. And then have this curve and extend to about there. Yeah, because if you're switching and you're on the turntable, I do want to give you something a bit more interesting to look at than just a flat wall of buildings. Okay. That looks good, except this needs to go back a little bit like this. And then I need... Well, actually I need... that might be a little bit close to that spline point. I'll try it. Well, hopefully I'll only try it once, but I might try it multiple times. Who knows? Yeah, it pretty much needs to come in right there. Maybe I can put in a spline point like there, although that's getting a bit far away. Okay, well, let's try this. And then what would it look like if I just... Well, no, that wouldn't work, but I might be able to overlay it a little bit. Right, and then add a spline point in there and drag that out a bit. Not the stream, just the spline point. Oh, come on. Come on. Spline. There we go. That, no, didn't want... Actually, no, that was only one. Good. Then move this. Actually, no, move this to about there. Can I connect these ones up? And will that work? Dalek voice to Trainz. Cooperate. Click. Come on, click. Where's the click? Click. Suddenly 30 spine points appear. No! But yeah, good point. Also, hello, Code Monkey. How's the code? Have you managed to make the repeaters work? Or whatever branched off from working on the repeaters? That doesn't look great. I need to move this back a bit, but then it gets a bit wobbly, wibbly-wobbly. Guess maybe if I just pull this one along a little bit, like that. And then make this not be fixed tight. Good evening. Also, telephone poles, not here. Not here. That sort of stuff would be going underground at this point. Although that's not exactly lined up there. I need to bring this down a bit. Unfortunate, but kind of has to be done this way. And then I need another spline point in there to cover that up. well, to add in more resolution in the curve. Well, I'd appreciate it if the splines were to come back. Getting there, I need to make blueprints now and put splitting banner repeaters to the test. Splitting banner repeaters? What are those? Oh, are they when you've got like a feathering? Sorry, for a branch if it goes off to know if you're diverging or not. Is that what you mean by splitting banner repeater, or what do you mean by that? Good luck. Hope it goes well. Yeah, those will be underground probably. Not the banner repeaters, but the telegraph wires. Come on. There we go. A little bit more. That looks alright. That white line is a little bit close there, but I can't really do much about that without messing up the whole curve. Well, maybe. How does that look? Well, that looks a little bit better. Banner repeater is the rotating disc slightly in advance of a signal. Splitting is where you have two discs, which refer to roots from a junction signal. Ah, yes, that makes sense. So it is kind of what I thought. Okay, now quickly extend this. Load more. Hertfordshire. This one needs to be lined up slightly better, and the other one as well, actually. Okay. Now draw that along. And then I'll have a road going like that. Just a little bit of it. Okay, so now let's put buildings along this bit, and then we'll put, I'll fill in the texture, and then we can put trees and bushes along this stretch. I actually looked to see if this was a real place. Oh. It sounds real. Sorry, was just quoting Shardais as a place name. No, it's hilarious. Okay, so what sort of buildings do I want? Well, I'd really want more shorter ones, like those ones over here. Maybe I can reuse this one as the one at the end, sort of like that, maybe. What one do we want in the corner? Maybe one with the clothing hanging out, because that will end well. Maybe not for that corner, maybe back here. So sort of like that. That should be enough to block the line of sight going that way. What about line of sight going the other way? Well, we don't have anything the other way. These ones, try these ones. Then we can have a little bit of a courtyard back there with maybe a few trees or something. Maybe I can put some of these like stacked like that, so that I can have the buildings kind of go around the curve of the road a bit. Yeah, that works well, I think. Then I have to have something back here to block this off. I mean, I could just have a few of these ones. Try stacking those. Maybe move them into the ground a bit. Yeah, just so the height doesn't look as identical with the other ones. Maybe like that. Yeah, now if you look back there, you can see that it's actually a different building coming onto there. Although maybe there should be a little bit of a gap there, a little bit of an alley going through. Yeah, like that. I think that's better. You can see, kind of see the building through there. And it still almost completely blocks line of sight. I think I'll just place another one of these ones beside it. Yeah, like that. Good. You can't look through there. And then I'll probably just place one sizable tree in there. Ooh, maybe I can do something similar to what I placed over here. Although this might be a little too large. We've not even gone an hour and you've done so much progress. Yes. All in the name of progress. That's a tall tree. If that falls over, that's going to be quite damaging. Maybe not that tall. Maybe like that. That I like. Clear reminder, road arrows. No reminder found, road arrows. Autocorrect to red arrows. Reminder, road arrows clear. No, 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 no. That's not what I said. Okay, need this texture down here. That one. Then just go like that. And I think now might be a good time to fill in the texture. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Reminder not found. Search on the web for red arrows. No. And this one, asset to update with is this one, asset to update is that one, and then in current section only, yes. And then, sure, this one as well. Yes. And then this one. That one, not yet. I might not need that one, and it's good to see how large a baseboard is. Look, the entirety of the Eagleville Railway fits into this space. That's the entirety of the Eagleville route. Look, that is the entirety of the Eagleville route. Right there. If you don't know what that is, Eagleville is a route that Slovak Eagle made as part of a one baseboard challenge. It's a narrow gauge route set in France, and it's in one baseboard. That's ludicrous. Command unrecognized, no. Search on the web for no. Yes. To quote Inspector Gadget, wowzers! Yeah. I think I will just make this asphalt along here. I was considering making it cobblestones again, but no. This isn't fancy enough to get cobblestones. This sounds difficult, but that springs creatively. This sounds difficult, but that... springs creativity. Oh, of course, the baseboard challenge. Yeah. And back then, I would have... like, I only found out about it when it was pretty much already over. I think I had heard of it before, but then I didn't have the time to enter, and I didn't really know what it was, and... But then when I saw what Eagle had actually built for it, I really would have liked to actually take part as well, although I did take part in Nate's base assets only challenge for Trainz, where the challenge was to make a route in Trainz: A New Era using only assets that come with the game. You can't use any DLC, you can't use any download station assets, only stuff that comes with base version of Trainz: A New Era. And I participated, and I won that. And the route that won that, the award-winning route, is on the DLS. I don't think it looks too great in TRS-19 because it uses 2D assets. Oh, did you link it just then? Oh yeah, there is it, the Shane Lake Railroad. 603 downloads. Yeah, there we go. This was made for a base build challenge. Yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out still. It was really nice making a route with a version of Trainz that actually works with 2D assets, works well with 2D assets. Because using 2D assets in TRS-19, like trees specifically, bushes, that sort of thing, some of them that are specifically designed for TRS-19 work, but... MP session. Yeah, that's the multiplayer session. I didn't make any other sessions for it because of time issues. Like, it took long enough to finish the route as it was, basically. No, that looks too modern. I don't like that there. Maybe one of these buildings. Well, maybe not that specific one, but one of these kind of buildings, like this one. That's kind of that's actually a really nice kind of transition between that reddish color on the right and the white on the left. Now, how do I position it so that actually that's a good positioning for it, I think. Good enough anyway. I am really looking forward to actually starting work on the third rail electric route as well. I've got so many ideas of what I want to do for it and how I want to do certain things. I even had an idea that I might be able to do, like, okay, so the route idea was, because it is a mostly commuter route, going to be a mostly commuter route, I thought I could use more tables. No, don't run away, please. No, it would not on stream. Don't worry about it. No, But yeah, more tables, but not in terms of industry, but in terms of time tables. So that I actually have, the idea was that so that I actually have basically real world train timetables for the routes in the Trainz route, like for the lines in the Trainz route. Because previously, what kind of building do I want back there? Something a little bit taller. Maybe one of those ones. Yeah, because with previous Trainz routes, I've only ever thought about, in terms of timetables, it was pretty much only ever, I want to make a session with a train that goes from here to there, and I've just made a whole bunch of sessions during kind of midday, so let's make a morning session. And that was pretty much that. And then I put in AI trains as and when they would look good. But if I made actual timetables, like functioning timetables, then as you're playing, you can see, like if you're playing in the morning, maybe you can find a train that's currently heading away from a depot. Like maybe you find a train on a line that it usually doesn't go on because it's on its way to its first stop coming from a depot. Or you know where to meet trains. And then if you're early or late in the session, you might miss your connections or stuff like that. And then, I thought that was a really fun idea. Especially with, actually I'm not going to do texturing over here yet. I want to put down the bushes and trees and stuff like that over here. And I think I need a retaining wall on this bit probably, or maybe not. I'll try bushes and trees first. Yeah, so, because I also had the idea that I might be able to have certain, like, special services with special liveries. So like maybe one of the lines that goes along the coast, because I do want to have it go along the like a coastal route as well. That could have its own special livery with maybe screenshots of the different locations on it, like as pictures of where you can get to with it, with the train line and things like that. And then if you drive another session, then you can drive a timetable from two different perspectives. Like on one, like at the same day, same time, on one session you're driving one service, encountering this train, meeting at a station. On the other train, you are the train that's going to meet, or something like that, where it actually feels real in that regard. It makes it feel more real. And then you could also have sessions where a certain service is delayed, and then that causes issues along the timetable and things like that. And then if you mix in a little touch of freight as well, then that would have to be slotted in to places where it won't disrupt passenger services too much. And yeah, to me that just sounds like a lot of fun to make. And so I was thinking about that, and then I thought, well, because I was already kind of in the asset creation mindset, I thought, well, if I already have all of these timetables, what if I just make like platform announcements? Because it's not too difficult to make. Surely, like if I already, like I would only have to make it for the sessions that I'm actually going to make. I wouldn't make it for every single timetable, every single station on every single timetable, because that would just be ridiculous. But for the sessions that I make, like if I make a session that goes from A to B to C to D, whatever, and encounters services 1, 2, and 5, then I can make announcements for those specific services at those specific stations per session as and when needed. And I thought that I could quite easily do that, either as a sound object that just gets, like that's on a layer that just gets turned on at a specific time with session rules so that the sound plays when I want it to play. Or I could do it as a horn, so that I've got a train sitting somewhere, an invisible train with a horn sound effect, and that then plays. And so I was thinking about how to do that as well. And so you can see how, in my mind, even though I haven't physically started working on the route yet, mentally I'm already very much involved and already coming up with problems and then coming up with solutions to said problems. So yeah, I am really looking forward to it. It's going to be such a change of pace from the MVR as well, which is going to be really refreshing. Right. Right, what was I? All right, MP session. Custom scenery objects? Yeah, perhaps as well. I mean, when I do make it, then yeah, I'll almost definitely make some custom scenery objects for it as well. Because at the moment, it's still, at the moment when I make custom assets, it's still a process of going, actually, okay, how did this work again? How do I have to set up the shader in Blender? Do I export this as FBX or as IM? Do I need an LM LOD or do I not? How do I make the normal maps? How do I export it? All that stuff. It's still very much a look it up sort of thing, but as I make more assets, as when I make more assets, I'm sure that I'll get the hang of it and I won't have to really look up much, at least for basic assets. And when I've reached that point, then, well, I'll probably make a whole lot of assets, likely. Runaway? For the table. I love the table streams. Yeah, the table streams were good. I did enjoy the table streams as well. Oh, whoa, a timetables PDF. Yeah, and it might also be good having it be what was it? Yeah, publicly available. Might have it be publicly available as well, so that if you want to make your own sessions or something, then you can derive from that if you wish. Or maybe for more difficult sessions, I might have, like, that's another thing that I was thinking about. Because I was thinking about it, maybe making different difficulty sessions, because so far in my routes, all of the sessions are meant to be played. Well, they are all meant to be played in cab mode. Well, realistic mode. Sorry, I still call it cab mode from back when it was called that. With all of the advantages that the GUI gives you, the graphical user interface, the HUD. And with nav points and objection markers and all that sort of stuff. But my idea was, maybe it would be good to have different difficulty scenarios, where in the kind of easy ones, you still have all of that, and you can use that to learn the route, and then and what services stop at what stations. But then in the more difficult scenarios, maybe the instructions tell you to disable the entire HUD. Press F5 to disable the HUD, and then you've got to drive using only the trackside objects, so signals, speedboards, that sort of thing, and the in-cab the in-cab gauges like the speedometer and things like that, as well as your route knowledge of where the stations are and when you need to start braking and all that sort of stuff. And then, yeah, and then also maybe not have any nav points visible. I would still score you based on where you stopped and how you did that. That's actually another point. But yeah, but that was another idea. So maybe that would be fun, because then it would make it more realistic as well. And another idea I had was about because in the UK you have kind of car markers on the platform, where if you're driving, say, a four-coach train, you have to stop the train at a certain point on the platform so that that you're aligned optimally with the exit and / entrance of the station. But if you're, say, in a 12-car train or something like that, you have to stop at a different place because your train's longer. And so I was thinking about how I could make that work in the context of trains, so that you don't only have the signs there, but you actually get more points if you stop properly. And then I was thinking about triggers, because originally the idea, the way that I would originally, that I would do that naturally would be to have the triggers on different layers, and then as you go past a trigger, it changes a layer to enable another trigger to detect whether you've overshot the platform. But I could just as easily do it with variables, because that's not how layers and triggers work in the game after Service Pack 2 on Mac. So, or it doesn't work like that, period, in TOS 19. But I was thinking that I could basically, okay, so imagine having a variable, which is, one variable is stopping at station, or actually, let's say one variable is entered platform, another variable is overshot. Yeah? Well, actually, you'd need, tell you what, no. One variable named enter area, another one is overshot area. Yeah? And if you're coming into a station, I need to think about what kind of buildings I want to have there. Well, I want these sorts of buildings like I placed over here, so let's just reuse some of these. Yeah, so imagine you've got a straight piece of track, and then as you're coming into the platform, just before whichever stop marker you're supposed to stop at in that session, and this would be session specific. Just before you get to that marker, there's a trigger which has got like a 1 meter radius, and as you enter that, the entered area variable gets set to 1. And then if the train stops, or when the train stops, and it gives you points, then it looks at, okay, is this variable set to 1? Entered area, is that set to 1? And if it is set to 1, good. Then it checks if the overshot area variable is also set to 1, which, by the way, gets triggered by another 1 meter radius trigger just after the designated stopping area. So in that regard, there can be three states for when a train stops at a station. The first is that the train stops at the station and the entered area is 0, which means you stopped too soon. You didn't actually reach the marker of where you wanted to, where you should have stopped. In which case, I can give the player a certain number of points for actually stopping at the station. The second, what was the word I used? Case. The second case for the variables is that the entered area variable is set to 1, but the overshot variable is set to 0, in which case you stopped at the right location because you entered the area, but you didn't go far enough to trigger the second trigger to overshoot. The third is that the entered area is true, and in which case I can give the player more points, or the entered area variable is set to 1 and the overshot variable is set to 1, in which case you clearly entered the area and then overshot and then stopped. Which means that I'm probably just going to give the player the same amount of points as if the player hadn't stopped, had stopped too soon. So that you just get a bonus if you actually stop at the right position on the platform. And then when you exit the station, so at the very end of the platform, or a little bit after that, anyway, somewhere between that station and the next station, somewhere along the line, is a trigger that resets both variables to 0, so that when you come up to the next station, they are both reset, and it can be determined how well the player stopped from that point. Yeah, and so that with that method, I wouldn't have to create loads and loads and loads of variables for every single station, because that would just not work. So yeah, that was another idea that I had, and that I don't think I've ever seen done in a Trainz route, or even in a Trainz simulator route. I know that in Trainz simulator they do have the markers, but I can't recall a single route where it actually checks how well you stopped. I know that in Trainz Sim World it checks how well you stopped, but not in the Trainz Simulator Classic route. And then that's another thing that I might just have enabled in the more advanced, well, the more difficult sessions. So in the easy sessions, it doesn't matter where you stop on the platform. As long as you stop at the platform, or it would be on the nav marker, you succeed. But yeah, with the other one, maybe not. And so yeah, I was just thinking a whole bunch about this. Yay, that'd be so good. Regarding the timetables. They did that for OMSI 2's West Country 3 route too. Ah, nice. Whole leaflet designs, as though for real life, but not. Timetables and route maps. Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing I was thinking about, having like a HTML pop-up with like a London Underground style map of the entire route, or of the specific line of the session, so that when you begin the session, you can see visually where the stations are that you're supposed to stop at on the line. Like maybe have all the other lines grayed out in the background, so you know that yes, it does cross over, it does link up here, there are junctions there, but these are not the stations that I'm supposed to stop at, because that might just be a lot easier to work with. Oh, you could model a route map asset too to place on platforms. I could, yeah, I could. And record voice lines for station announcements. Yeah, like I said. And hire a VA, virtual assistant. For what? Me, Albastro, Codemaker? Who knows? Eagle, Amichu, ah! Well, if I were to get someone's help to record those lines, then out of the people you've listed, it would probably be Amichu. Because, at least where I am, the voice lines are, well, the voiceover is pretty much always a feminine voice, unless it's a live broadcast, like announcement, that's a word, a live announcement, which this wouldn't be. Yeah, screenshot on the train like this. Screenshots on the... Oh, you mean like with the images? Sort of like that, maybe. I was thinking more like actual rectangular images of different landmarks that are collected like with a bouncing line or something. Just pinch your nose and record it through an old telephone. That's about how most stations' PA systems sound. Good point. Only with screenshots, image source. Yes, the answering powers thing, yeah. Pinch your nose. Great idea. Yes, for the sessions! This is a 1527 Paradise rail service to slightly calling at ... Yeah, like that. Oh, and if there's a diversion or something, you could put that in too. Yes, exactly. Paradise horn wouldn't work anymore, as far as I know. I think they made all horn sounds fade out in Service Pack 5 when you only press the horn once. Ah, well then it would just be a normal asset that would be turned on, that would get turned on. State. You said state. Oh, there we go, yes. In regard to stopping points, can you query the distance from a train to a known position? No, I don't think so. At least I don't know any way of doing that in Trainz. The only way that the easiest way that I could think to do that, like what I want to do, is with the triggers like what I described. On the hard sessions, stop perfectly or else. On intermediate sessions, stop either at or before the marker. You don't overshoot, but don't overshoot. On easy sessions, just stop on the stop marker. Yeah. Ding dong. We are sorry to announce that the 1335 Paradise rail service to Largston Central has been delayed by approximately 30 minutes. This is due to Twitch chat interfering once again. Paradise City. Oh, right, yeah, sorry, I was building a city. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, Blagston. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want another road coming off there. I'll just have that and then have the intersection there. But yeah, now you've got a sneak preview of what I've got planned. Feels impatience wavering now that Paradise resumes building. Is this building good enough, high resolution enough for here? Probably. There may be another one of these somewhere. Maybe here where the curve is. Although these ones aren't a 90-degree angle though, that's the only thing. Wow, should I name idea for new route? No, not yet. Not yet. It's a bit unremarkable, the textures on it. I know, but I'll have a green strip between here anyway, that I want to have trees on and stuff like that, because well, I want a nice little green section before you get into the really high density section over there with the terminus. So you won't really see it too much because there'll be obstructions. True, but yeah, I think it's quite decent. Yeah, I mean, if I get up close to it, then that's not ideal, but actually, maybe that would be a better one for the corner. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Pixelmator Pro effects sharpen. Okay, we'll see. I'll add another little layer of buildings behind it. And we'll see how that looks. Let's see. I think that looks quite good. Probably unless it's too tall. Oh, that's okay. And I just need a couple more. Maybe another one of these assets. Just kind of blocking in the lines of sight. So you can't look through too well. Stringy graphics cards of the past. A stingy graphics card of the past. I think I'll allow you 4 pixels for this area. Absolutely no more though. Can't spare the memory. Yeah, good point. Let's see. What other assets could I use for that? Maybe another group actually. Just to give it a little bit more depth. Yeah, that fits. That does fit. Although I think I'll move, well, can you still look through there? Yeah, but I'll have buildings along there anyway. So I'll move this over a little bit more because of the angle that I want the taller building to be visible from. I suppose now is as good a time as any to make the intersection. Probably 4-lane road going back here actually. Yes. 5-lane, counting the median. Wait, median? What do you mean median? With a hedge on it? I don't know. There's going to be bushes and stuff in between there anyway, and trees. You're not really going to see it much. I don't think that it's really worth it. Plus, I don't really think that it suits this area that well. Right, good. That's all caught up. Looks pretty good. Is that straightened or not? No. Oh, we've still got a while left in the stream. That's a pleasant surprise. Eventually, Renfrew realized his short-sightedness in opening up a boiled potatoes only restaurant. Was it in time to save his business, though? Yes. Not in time to save his restaurant, but in time to rebrand to Starch Factory Incorporated. Ball potato business sounds like a half-baked idea. That's a good joke. Well done. So he comes up with the hit new snack food, Starch Crunch. Yes. You can hit your teeth on it. Ren threw his potato-themed ideas out on the floor. Okay, I just need to extend this a little bit. Actually, I'll do it with the stripes first. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's just texture it very quickly. Yes, I will make that intersection here, because otherwise, well, you would see that there isn't one here. And there's supposed to be one here. Just make it a quick 2-lane one like this. Don't need to put too much detail in here. Yes, I know, I didn't finish the other intersection. I'll do that in a moment. If I forget, remind me. I know I don't need to put that much detail into this intersection, but I kind of am. Okay. Okay, almost done. Right, now that that's done, I'll finish making this intersection, and then we'll see where we are. Save first, though. I'll read that in a moment. Okay, that looks fairly good-ish. Except this needs to go over a bit further because it's yeah, on the curve, it's not positioned as the same as the other one, which means I'll need to bring the road markings a little bit further in as well. But that'll work. Basically just like this. I mean, there are going to be trees in front of this anyway. This is mostly just if you're flying across the map, you can actually see there's detail there. How does that look? Actually, that looks really good. Quite happy with that. Okay. Right, thick lines. Actually, save first, and then thick lines, and then road markings, and then traffic lights, and then the other intersection. Yes. Move that down a little bit to about that. No, not like that. It's like, boss, the yellow paint ran out. Well, just put the solid white roller on instead. It'll be fine. Right now we need to find the arrows, which shouldn't be too difficult because they're right here. I'll read that in a moment, don't worry. I just want to finish this intersection first. Left through. And then we need through and then right through. Here we just need left and right. Okay, now I just need to put in the traffic lights and then I'll read chat. I hope you've got something good for me to read. You've got a little while yet to write something in, but I sure hope you've got something good for me to read. Otherwise I'll cancel my subscription. Dun dun dun. Okay, so here we go. Alright, so the potato themed ideas. Crunch clean, as always. He remarked with a sideways smirk. No, you won't be served to the public. I'll save you for my midnight snack. And with that, he accidentally locked himself into his potato restaurant kitchen. Oh, potatoes. Fade black. Crunchy clean. Unless you can teleport, I'd imagine you'd still be in the same place. Well, I mean, it depends on your point of reference, I suppose. If your point of reference is the sun, then no. I mean, even if your point of reference is the Earth, then we're still rotating. So I'm going east, which is actually over there. Well, over there-ish, I think. I'm going that way, really quite fast, if that is your point of reference. Save, I did save. Uncle Hubbard, old Mother Hubbard's brother. Read this. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/longest_wikipedia_article. You're welcome. Ah, those should be canon in the MVR. There's a stupid YouTube video of deleted Wikipedia articles submitted by insane people. I can't do the delivery justice. But one is list of people who are alive or are dead. Yeah. Aha. We're all going east. Okay, right. Next intersection, this one. I won't put as much time in here. I'll just quickly make the, like, roughly put in the white lines. And I'll put in the solid white, and that'll be it. For this one, I won't put in any arrows because it's too far away, you wouldn't really see it anyway. Okay, and then I need this one, and I'll put it, I'll make, I think 3 or 4 wide here. If you want to know why, ask Albastro or Kangafango. They know because they've been here all the previous times that I've explained it. Hello, what do I know? I was saying that you know why I'm making the white lines thicker on the intersections that are further away from the tracks. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, see? I told you. And you don't even have to prove it. Submitting response in 3, 2, 1. Making the stopping marker thicker so that they're still visible from further away. Basically, yes. It's just, it has to do with the field of view. Because the further away you get, the shorter it would appear. So from over here, if it were just 1 or 2 thick, you wouldn't really see it anymore. But since it's 4 thick, it kind of counteracts that. It's the same reason that road signs that are painted onto the road, like speed signs, are elongated, because if you're driving in the car, your head is this low, and so to compensate your narrow viewing angle, it's elongated on the road. Has to do with perspective and field of view. Yeah. Bus stop. Tennis. Plymouth. Interesting. Some of those place names sound almost familiar. I think I've heard of bus stop before. Where's that? Couldn't tell you, sorry. Hertfordshire, possibly. Ha ha ha. Good point. Look outside my window. I'll pass through. That's okay. Is it? Is it really? Okay, so maybe just another one of this building group. Just at the end here, although... Actually, if I have buildings along there, you won't really see the repeating asset back there too much. And it does look good looking back this way. Right. Maybe one of... Actually, maybe one of these assets could hide it. Yeah, like that. That's tall enough to hide it. Actually, it's a bit too tall. There we go. Ah, this one's one that I've not used that often. I can use that again here. Move down a little bit to about that height. Although, actually, I could use this to fill even more space like that because, again, of the angle that you're seeing it from, you won't really see too big of a gap between there. You'll see a little bit of a gap from here, but then there's another building between that as you're coming along this way. Actually, I think that's probably a pretty good gap. Only thing I'll change is I'll add another one at a bit of an angle to kind of fill in back here a bit. Although that now looks a little odd with that other building there. Would it look better without that building? Actually, yes, that is a much more interesting shape. So I can move this building back here or something. Yes, my front window. Oh, antamorphosis? What is that? As a distortion. Oh, right, yeah. Anamorphosis. Sorry, there's no T in that. There's literally a bus stop right there. It used to be serviced by Abdar Solos back in 2018, possibly also 2019. I will next time I'm around. But they got replaced by proper minibuses, sigh. Hey, never rode on it myself. My bus stop is a couple doors down. Wait, your bus stop has a door? Fancy. Ah, wait. On what story do you live? A couple doors down. Well, I'm on a hill, so I'm not really. As expected with Brighton. I wouldn't have it any other way. This one might fit quite nicely back here. It's kind of a filler asset. Like that. Yeah, that works. And then if you look back there, you can see this road, and then I'll put a little bit more detail in there, even though you won't really see it that well, because of the trees which I'll put in place. But yeah, maybe like a city tree or something on there might look good. Now where did I use them? I used them over here somewhere, I think. Or not. I thought I had. I know I've definitely used them back here somewhere. Oh yes, back here. Just sort of like that. Good. Good. Now, on to filling this area with trees and bushes and that sort of thing. I'll say first, although interestingly, on the topic of hills, the Coachliner 400, in all of its 4.5 hours, is practically all flat. Coastliner, sorry, not Coachliner. Well, I'm a hill, so... No way! It's not hill-less, but it's really, really flat. Interesting. Does the bus go on the water, perhaps? Is that why it's so flat? Yeah, I'll have to move some of these trees into the ground. Sort of like that. Is that what I'll do? Like that? Well, yeah, the road going along there. You've got greenery on the side there. You've got greenery here. And then as you're coming along here, you do still have this green corridor coming along. And then that green corridor ends with a bridge where the turntable is, and then you get into here. Yeah, I do really like that. Although I'll probably have buildings on the left-hand side, very close anyway, so we'll have a bit of both. And I'll also want some of these bush assets to fill in some of the more lower down kind of areas between the trees as well. That already looks okay, but it can definitely be improved. Primarily with more different kinds of trees in the mix. Actually, this might be a nice little opportunity for a little path to go in here. Let me quickly save and then grab a dirt texture. Oh, happy Minecraft Monday! I'll just quickly put this down and then I'll end the stream. Although first I need to actually find the thing. Hold on, I put it down by the station. That's going to be a bit easier to get to. Yeah, just a little bit kind of coming down there. That's a little bit too much. It's just a hint. Just a hint of usage like that. And I will, for the thumbnail, I will quickly just paint this in with the forest texture. Something like that. Of course, I'll need grass blinds along there as well and stuff like that, but actually, tell you what, I might as well, it'll only take a moment, I might as well put the grass blinds in on this stretch. It's just going to take a moment. Just a little bit of paint. Well, texture. I'm not tipping buckets of paint everywhere, I promise. And just a little touch of this along here as well. Just in some spots. Just where the grass pline happens to be. Okay, I think that actually doesn't look that bad. I will, of course, increase the density of these trees and bushes along here and add in some a bit more variation as well, but for now it's time to take a thumbnail. And then I'll read chat and then we'll end. Right, thumbnail. Look, we built from all the way back here, all the way along there. So next time, we'll finish off a little bit of this area, so like adding in more trees and painting in between the buildings there. Maybe also add in a few buildings back there. And then we'll focus on adding buildings on that tiny little stretch here. Basically just have this road go along back here and then probably have one going this way and then this one cul-de-sac in there or something like that. And then if there's still time, we'll focus on detailing this area around the tracks a little bit more, like the grass around these areas, adding in some texture on the right there, detailing this little empty space, putting some objects like benches and stuff on the platforms, putting in the roads that go back here and back there and back there, and just tying up a few loose ends around here. And then that'll be that pretty much. So yeah, we really do only have a handful of streams left, maybe like 1 or 2, maybe 3 in terms of actual route building on this route, I would have said. Derek barrels, dumpsters? Oh yeah, definitely. In terms of route building, I would say. Yes, I will have session making streams, but those I can only do once I've actually done the tedious bits that still need to be done, like adding frogs, adding signals, double checking all the signals, updating some of the scenery, that sort of stuff. Let's see if we can get a good angle on some of this. Ooh, that might be a nice shot. Just sort of like that. That might be good. I like how nestled in this feels. Yeah, that's probably going to be it. I might get one more. Justin Cakes. Okay, one of those will probably be on the thumbnail. Will probably be the thumbnail. Right. Oh no, yes. the hills, yes, or not as interesting, or not as the case may be. I've never been on the route myself. Paradise, maybe also place a shopping mall or hotel. Well, I already have a lot of hotels, and I've already got a shopping mall back there. I don't really want to reuse scenes like that in such close proximity. I like a good shop. A little shop, yeah. Most of it isn't actually anywhere near the coast. Only really Hove and Worthing. Imagine that. An amphibious 400 mmc. There are other parts that occasionally pop round the coast, but it's more or less inland from here. Well, on my third rail route, the coastline will actually be by the coast. Like I mean, like Dawlish seawall on the coast for parts of it. Thought you said Hove to Woking at first. That's a bit far. Mike of Monday. Woo. I would also be interested in hearing the music to a new Living Art stage, if it is to ever exist. Previous stream title. Pretty much the same stream title as this one, only without the 2. Derelict newspaper? Shared ice? Dumpsters? Derelict barrels? 1 or 2? I might have more derelict barrels than 1 or 2. I'll probably have more, yeah. 1 or 2, sure. Tony said, I was just walking down the Frog and Toad. Frog and Toad. Toad Road, Frog, Fog. The Fog and Road. And Fog and Road. Let's see. Anyway. Charles, maybe having the red turntable might be a good idea. In this case, you can actually recognize it as the turntable. Well, I don't think so. Not in this case. Just in case. Shopping mall? Where? I'd forgotten. The strip mall. Oh, you could put your 465 announcement on the homepage. I know, I could. I have considered it, but I like having the trailer of the last thing that I released on there. Sure is. Frog is the supplementary word to toad. So it would only be frog. Oh yes, Ramon. Are the previous 465 announcements equally important? What do you mean? What previous 465 announcements? Alright then, if Shadows and can go, I shall see you later this evening for some Metal Minecraft. Aw, Dr. Seawall, eh? Yeah, probably. Oh, that's a link to a YouTube video. It's a link to an... Oh, Kanga, why do you send me this ad? What? What? Oh, that, yeah. As in 464. Oh, I see. 464. The previous 464, yes, I get what you mean now. I misread it. So, I'll save once again, and good night. See you later today. Bye-bye. Everybody, yes, bye-bye. Good night.